Welcome back to the Forge and the OHA guys. I am OHA Jason, back with another episode of Pints and Paints. Exciting day today, lots of news and announcements, some really exciting stuff. So let's get the formalities out of the way and we can carry on with what you're here to see. So today's beverage of choice is something a little different. For those of you who are familiar with the channel, way back, this is the way back finger, way back, I did a little public service announcement about staying hydrated, and I introduced the world, or not the world, I guess the SBG community, maybe some of you, to what's commonly known as a Manitoba Red Eye here in Canada, or now known as a Chelada. So that is a combination of, in this case, Bud Light and Mott's Clamato. Mott's Clamato in Canada is what we use to make a Caesar. I know that may be something that's foreign to some of you folks that are watching. Caesar is also... Caesar's a much better version of a Bloody Mary for our American friends. The Brits, I don't know if they have anything like that or not. Anyways, if somebody's watching, chime in by all means. But it's a Caesar, Bloody Mary. This one's just made with beer instead of vodka. It's just mixed together. It's refreshing. It's delicious. So cheers. It's definitely one of my favorite beverages. And amazingly enough, you can purchase it now pre-mixed here in Canada. It's a big French-Canadian thing. Don't know why. I learned about it when I was up at hunt camp, hunting for moose. Hunted with a bunch of guys from Northern Ontario that have very heavy French backgrounds, speak French. A lot of Northern Ontario is a very French part of the world. And they introduced me to it. So the fact that I was able to now find it in the beer store, pre-made, made my day. So picked some up, thought it was fitting for P&P. That's enough of that. It's delicious. Go get yourself some, a case, 2, 4, 6-pack, whatever you need. Stay hydrated. Very important. Very, very important, especially at the beginning of a hobby weekend, such as this. So, what's new and exciting? First thing I want to touch on is a big congratulations to none other than Mr. Damian O'Byrne. This fine gentleman, for those of you who do not know him, is one part of the team that puts together the SBG magazine, the other part being Mr. Tom Harrison. They both do fantastic work. I've heard rumors that Damian does more work than Tom, but can't confirm or deny. Either way, both seem to be very stand-up gentlemen. I've had the opportunity to talk to Damian a number of times. Seems like a great guy. OHA George was able to meet him down at Nova last year, and they hit it off fairly well from what I understand. Poor Damian actually put up with George's snoring in a hotel room, so he must be a stand-up guy to put up with that. I can vouch for that. So anyways, cheers to Damian O'Byrne for being chosen as, I guess, the SBG community's hobby hero. Warhammer Heroes did a whole selection process, and anyways, Damian O'Byrne came out on top for our side of the house, which is awesome, so congratulations. Cheers to you, buddy. All the best. Thanks for all the work you do. SBG Magazine is a fantastic publication. He also dedicates a lot of time and effort into helping to maintain the GBHL Facebook page. I know you see him on there a lot, whether he's just chiming in or, in the trenches dealing with the nitty-gritty that is the wonderful world of Facebook. So cheers to you. Hats off to you. Thank you very much for everything you do. And I hope you're enjoying a warm tea this evening. I don't believe I've ever seen you drink a beer. Maybe on the plant here instead of tea one day, I'm calling you out. Maybe you have a beer. Get yourself a beer, have a beer. I don't know if you drink beer. If you don't, get some scotch or something. I don't know. Either way, cheers to Hobby Heroes, to Warhammer for recognizing people like Damian, and for all the work that goes into this fantastic hobby. Sometimes unrewarded. It's certainly nice to see folks who go above and beyond getting their due credit. So congratulations, Damian. That's enough of that. Moving on, we had a really good turnout last night for the inaugural sort of meeting evening for the OHA League. So we had some pretty positive numbers turn out for that event. The guys were able to get some games in, as well as discuss the format, layout, composition, whatever you want to call it, with respects to our founding of a league. So it seems like we have anywhere from about 15 to 20 participants, I believe, according to the numbers on the page and the sheet and all that fun stuff. Really looking forward to seeing where that's going to go. Obviously, a bunch of different ideas were floated around from all sides of that group. Definitely looking at some sort of progressive nature. Um, you know, the layout format, all that. Obviously, there's a lot of different ideas, so we need to come up with what is going to be best suited to our group for the locality. Want to try to keep the gaming local to the area at a normal location. So we're really hoping to stick with the Thursday nights at the Game Chamber. Tim obviously has been very supportive in that and providing us a place to play. So we want to continue that relationship. So yeah, it's all very positive. We're gonna have one more consultation meeting with the group next OHA Games Night, which is 2 weeks from now. Yeah, 2 weeks from now. Anyway, so that'll be the final meeting. After that, we'll sort of compile everything, put it together. It's sounding like they're going to be about 3-month seasons. Try to get as many games in that period of time. So we're trying to come up with what that format's going to be, but it sounds like it's going to be about three months for a season, with a set. I believe it's going to be a set army list. So you start off. It's like a progression thing. So you're going to start off with the first round is going to be, let's say 400 points, and the next round is going to be 500 points, and then the final round will be 600 points. So a month around type thing, 3 months, bang, there's your season done. And then how we're going to figure that out, we're still up in the air on, but, want to make sure that it's inclusive for everybody and make sure that we try to balance it a bit. So, because obviously some of the players that we have down in the London area, some of them are stronger than others, and, we want to make sure it's fair and fun and everybody's got a shot. So, really looking forward to that. It's exciting. Seeing the guys come together, and then all the guys, that are making that happen. OHA, George and Dane specifically, they were troopers last night. The weather wasn't the greatest, so unfortunately it's about an hour and a half for me to get to London from where I am. So it was tough to make that call last night to not go, but the weather was too bad, so I wasn't able to make it out. But the boys held down the fort and pulled everything together, and that's fantastic. That's what counts. So it's going to be interesting times for sure. Interesting times. Deadline for Hotlead's fast approaching, February 15th. Get your lists in, get your submissions, payment, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to harp on that too much. Seems like that's been the key focus of Pints and Paints for a while. It is going to be kind of, so I'm going to actually jump you guys off the tripod in a minute and show you the table that has progressed over the course of some time here. It is going to be the participation table at Hotlead, so this is the table we're going to use to demo the game. People are going to be able to sign up from the convention, come around. We're going to provide armies, a Mordor army and a Minas Tirith army, and we're going to try to get some players involved and get them enjoying the game. So I think we're going to take up to 6 players on the table. So myself and Dane are coming up with a list and such on what we want to do, army lists. Essentially everybody's going to get a warband. Playing on some sort of custom tweak scenarios for something that's fun for a convention. So looking forward to that. So I'm going to jump you guys off the tripod actually here in a minute and give you a sort of sneak peek, first exposure to the table. It's pretty well done. I do have to do some fast moving water effects as well as the waterfall itself, but all in all the table is complete and ready to go. So thrilled to be able to show this to you first off, and sort of let the Pints and Paints crew have first kick of the can. So bear with me. I'm going to jump off the tripod. I'll get you right back. All right, guys, here it is in all its glory. So happy to say that this has been a labor of love. It's been the first time I've done a very long continuous water pour like that with the water effects. Of course, making it modular in 2 board sections. I do have a third to make it a 4x6. However, both myself and Dane felt that a 4x4 table for beginners was going to be a better option. Given it's a tournament, or not a tournament, I'm sorry, given it's a convention, the time slots are limited to about 2 hours, so you got to get a game done in 2 hours, which for most SBG gamers on a 4x4 table is no problem. We have to bear in mind that these folks, some of them will have never played the game before. So we're essentially taking 6 new players through a 4x4 game within 2 hours. So we wanted to try to compress it, make sure people were getting a feel for the combat system and the game matrix in itself, it was important to us to make sure that that got the proper attention. As such, a smaller table was felt that it would definitely be advantageous to that. That being said, I would have not liked to have made like let's say a 4x8 or something, because I'd still be working. This was a lot of time and effort to go into this, so I'm going to take in, show you some of the details, and talk you through sort of the thought process on this stuff as I go. So we got some ruins, got some water crossings here, so these are considered shallow areas for people to cross. I wanted to try to add some details in, so I do have some deadfall and some plant life in the river itself. For this particular water pour, I did not tint the water effect. I actually painted the effect of the river onto the board, and then just poured the clear water effect onto the table. Fairly happy with the result. As you can see, this is a very shallow pour. Obviously you can do a very deep pour, but that's very costly, expensive, takes a lot of time because you have to pour in very small layers, and it would have been very time consuming. So minimizing it kept the cost down on the board and the amount of input time, and I think it still came out fairly well. So some of these trees and stuff, bushes, are obviously from older OHA productions, but will be used on this table. The nice part about this table is everything is modular, so it all pulls out. So the only thing that is set and stationary is the river and the rocky outcroppings. Everything else that you see on the board comes off, all the trees, the bushes, statues, all that fun stuff. So it makes transport really easy, makes storage really easy, and also makes playability really easy, because we can take off or put on as much stuff as we want depending on the players. So obviously this is a pretty stacked table. There's lots going on. Mind the shakiness of the camera. So we can lessen the amount of terrain to make it easier for new players. We can throw more on, whatever we want to do, but we really wanted it to be immersive. So this is where I still need to do the waterfall. As you can see, it's the deepening pool, and then the deadfall rocks within the river itself. And then this is sort of the top end here. So playability wise, going from this board edge here to that board edge is tight. Myself and George did a couple play tests on this table. It's very tight when you get into here because there's not a lot of room to move. So we're going to actually end up playing the table from this way across for the newer players. So that's going to open a few things up. The other interesting thing is it's going to add some, hopefully some humor to the game. We're excited about the possibility of people falling into the water, making swim checks, all that fun stuff. It may or may not be considered fast moving water depending on, we're going to do a couple more play tests, but all in all, really excited to get people excited about SBG, and we wanted to make sure that we had a table that popped, that stood out at the convention and got people's attention. So this is it. This is the board that will be making its appearance at Hotlead 2019. It will be separate to the tournament, so if you want to play in the tournament, by all means jump on over to the OHA Facebook group, check us out under the event section. You can find out more information there, and we'd be happy to have you. So quick, short, and sweet for P&P this week. Kind of a hobby vlog mixed in with it, but at least you saw some hobbying for a change instead of just my ugly mug sitting in front of the camera yapping. So thank you all very much for joining us. Thank you once again for the subscriptions, the likes, the comments. We love it. Keep them coming in, and congratulations once again to Mr. Damian for his big hobby hero win. So that's it for P&B. Take care, guys. Happy hobbying. Have a great weekend.